Hey, you're watching Fat Man DD1, you dingus. Whatever he said.
What up, y'all? This is your boy, Fat Man DD1. Okay. This title got me so pissed. Before I start talking about this or let the text reader do its thing, let me let y'all know this. Nerds, we don't want feminism. We don't want METOO shit. We don't want nothing in a movie. We just want to enjoy good movies. Action movies can be mindless and fun. Why can't Marvel movies, right? In all actuality, I don't know why Scarlett Johansson would open her mouth. I'm talking about this because there's a lot of videos I'm catching up to and I really want to tackle. Uzaki-chan will be the last video I get to because it was on my mind for the longest. And I have to say, hoes mad. So when it comes down to it, Scarlett Johansson, why? Listen, for most things, Scarlett Johansson should not be opening her mouth talking about what this movie stands for, what's it about. You shouldn't do this. And last time I remember, when this happened, the movie got a pushback May 7th, 2021. This is what's up now. And Iris, look, it was supposed to, freaking movie was supposed to come out this freaking year in November. But, you know, that shit got pushed back. So when it comes down to it, this is what's happening. This is it. I love Scarlett Johansson. I do. I love these actors. But when I hear shit like this, I get mad. These are fictional characters. They do deal with real world situations. Civil War in the comics was more of a debate between if superheroes who've been heroes forever should reveal their secret identities to the government, the world, other people. That is dangerous. You should not do that at fucking all because superheroes fought with impunity. Because if I remove my mask, everyone I know is dying. That's what also got Aunt May killed and crazy shit happened there. Spider-Man's worst enemies found out. You know, things really do change. Even though Spider-Man was on the side of Iron Man, it doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean what you're doing is right. And some people may say, oh, one side was wrong. No, Cap was the actual right side. Not in the Civil War the movie. In Civil War the movie, they gave two different choices of a man trying to keep a friendship, hear his friend out, but really try to prove someone's innocence to a degree that was hard to do. And then Tony is trying to keep things together because they dropped an entire city and building on a kid and a whole bunch of other people. So in reality, there's levels to situations. There's levels to choices there. When it comes down to these movies dealing with those situations, you really still see from the movie and the comics completely different, but they both had two different things that were conflict. My conflict of interest versus your conflict of interest. What I'm fighting for versus what you're trying to fight for. The truth and what I stand for and us trying to keep things together and make sure the hammer don't come down more than it already is. When it comes down to it, these situations happen in comics and in movies a lot. But how can you differ from them? If this is going to talk about why the Red Room uses women, that could be completely answered. Women are better spies. They can go better undercover and be hidden in plain sight more than men. Women can adapt to a situation than certain men. And they have the ability, one, if they're sexy enough, they can get into places men can't. Two, beauty talks. I don't give a fuck what you say. Beauty, charisma, and definitely charm. So Black Widow's character, like Black Widow and her entire character has been set on sex appeal, beauty, and being badass. And she's been able to take down and kill people for that. Then she moved over to S.H.I.E.L.D. But let's get into the article. Let's hear what this has to say because Scarlett Johansson is bugging.
Scarlett Johansson confirms the Marvel prequel Black Widow movie is a feminist flick and deals with issues surrounding the Time's Up and the METOO movements. Which
Weird.
fits nicely with Kevin Feige's approach to Phase 4.
Really?
I think this film in particular is very much reflective of what's going on in regards to the Time's Up movement and the METOO movement.
How?
Johansson filled in Empire magazine. It would be such a miss if we didn't address that stuff. If this film didn't take that head on, I think, particularly for Kate, it was so important for her to make a movie about women who are helping other women, who lift other women up out of a very difficult situation. Someone asked me if Natasha was a feminist. Of course she is. It's obvious. It's kinda an asinine question.
It's not an asinine question. And for the fact that you think that, it's more of like, you should really see where the character actually comes from. The movie was moved back to freaking May 7th of next year. And what I have to say is, if you're trying to make a movie to uplift women, help women through difficult times and difficult situations in general, I respect it. But there's a way you can tackle that. There's a way you can challenge that. Because if I zoom in, if I try to zoom in, can I zoom in? Yeah. You see that the Red Room has different female characters. A younger girl here, and this is the cycle. You got a little bit young, let's say maybe in your 20s, middle age, young 20s, middle age, right? You see where the Red Room allies itself, and also diversity here. Black chick, not sure what race you are, black chick, maybe a different besides white, black, not sure what race you are, probably gonna say a little mixed, like. This is some I see these diverse females on the poster, and no one's talking about that. So, diversity right there. Besides, the all-white cast here and this guy. But the way they make this all sound is more like, oh, this movie is here to uplift women and help them through difficult times. To what degree? I've seen movies that help and build up women differently when it comes to stories. Yes, this is an action-packed movie. Now, how do you expect to uplift and get women through difficult times? Are you just saying this because it's a good buzzword, a topic? Who fucking knows? But this is my last thoughts. When it comes down to it, Scarlett Johansson, you should have shut the fuck up. I'm just gonna be real with you. Should have shut the fuck up. Nobody wants to hear this. I don't want to hear this. Shout out to Clownfish. Shout out to Clownfish. Nobody wants to hear this. When it comes down to everything I've learned and everything I've looked at, nobody, especially nerds, want to hear the political aspect of what's going on. We don't want to hear what's in the real mainstream media. You could hint to it. You could see the devastation and destruction without talking about it. Comics have done it before. They've referenced real world situations, but they have not named dropped them. You name dropping this in an article makes people just say, ugh, I don't want to watch it. And that's bad. I had high hopes for me, Black Widow was the first female Avenger. Not that bullshit Captain Marvel. Black Widow is the first female Avenger, right next to Maria Hill. She's not an Avenger, but Avengers Assemble anyway. When it comes down to it, why the fuck would you tarnish that name already? Like, a lot of people say Kevin Feige is going to be creating A-Force down the line, and this may be something that leads to it. After, I think, I can say after this, people are just going to bow their heads out and say, peace out, Spider-Man. That's just kind of it. After Spider-Man, people might not care. Shang-Chi, Marvel's done. After Endgame, it was the Endgame from the 2000s. Like, Stan Lee is gone. Why am I still clocking into these movies if he's not going to have a good cameo? Why am I clocking into this if Robert Downey Jr.? Why am I clocking in if Chadwick Boseman is gone? R.I.P. Why am I clocking into this to hear stories that you can relate to my reality, but don't target my reality. Relatability is better than anything. Name dropping is better than anything, but don't take something like Black Widow and turn it into a message. That's not what comics are about. To a degree, they have messages, but they tackle these messages over chapters. They don't it's not just done in one book. It's a build up to other books and how that message is received. Will this piss off people? Probably. Will nerds understand it? Yeah. Does a lot of crazy shit happen in nerd communities with perverted motherfuckers? Yeah. And this comes from an honest pervert nigga. I could tell you, there's some shit that happens out there that even I don't fucking know. But when I hear some shit, I'm like, oh. You should hear what happens at comic conventions. Some people are getting roofied. Some people are getting robbed, beaten up, raped, all this other extra shit that happen at comic convention, nerd conventions. The fuck? So, yeah, those situations happen in scenes that I'm not even in, but I can keep my ear to the ground and hear it. Do you know how scary that is? To see this movie tackle certain things about women who are spies that are used by an organization, that sounds crazy, but there's also a good story behind it. What can they bring out of it? What can they tackle? What can they push? What is the market? Let it be known. But this is what I'm saying. This is what I think. And you may not like it. You may disagree. You may argue about it. Hit the comments and let's talk. This is from what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing. But at the same time, it might not be true. She may just be speaking from a point of view. That's it. And I'm looking through her point of view and kind of judging it and saying it shouldn't be about that. Or I'm not taking her words in consideration that this ain't what the movie's fully about, but it has an aspect of helping. So, hold me to that. But this is your boy Fat Man. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified. And tell me what you think about this video. What do you think about this article? I know it was short, but I had to kind of just dig in there. So from me to you, remember to never give up, never surrender, and keep on grinding. And once again, shout out to Clownfish TV for the lit pin. This pin is beautiful. I love it. So from me to you, peace. And I'm out. Yo, this is crazy.
Shit.
Getting bit on drum.
You
You little niggas gonna stop acting like my shit ain't the grill.
Where's the last
Some of
one?
you niggas get your front teeth for grills. And I ain't talking about the contract.
Ain't loving these fake hoes. Room smelling like 8 switches. Room service like 2K. NBA, I'm ballin', nigga. All them niggas fallin' like all them niggas. Talking shit, I saw them niggas. Now they daughter want a picture. Rough, ain't it? Fuck famous.
Yeah, man.
Niggas too real, got the most haters. Wrote a story, so Stephen Curry. How it feel to be golden.